Alright, good morning. So today I'm going to go over how to do the acrylic blanks using epoxy. So I've done them a few times using UV resin, but I'm out of UV resin and I thought it would be a great time to show how I do them using epoxy. So the epoxy I'm using today is Counterculture DIY Art Resin Medium Viscosity Epoxy. Part A and Part B, it's a 1:1 ratio. And I've already mixed it in here. So it's sitting. Okay. And I'm going to show two ways. One way is how you place the decal on top. And another way is how your decal is reversed, flipped, or mirrored and placed first. And then you do your glitter on top of that. So first things first, I'm going to go over supplies needed. You're going to need your blanks. You're going to need epoxy. Again, this is Counterculture DIY Art Resin Medium Viscosity Epoxy. You're going to need something to mix with. I'm using popsicle sticks, craft sticks I got from Family Dollar the other day. They have them at Dollar Tree, Walmart. You're going to need a container to mix your epoxy, measuring cups to measure out your epoxy and to mix your separate colors, or syringes, however you measure out your epoxy. You're going to need your glitters of choice. Today I'm going to use Branch by Cry Me a Glitter and I Don't Give a Sip by Cry Me a Glitter. A weeding tool, alcohol, your cut vinyl decals, the torch, sanding block or sanding paper, gloves, paper towel, and silicone mat. Okay, so that's a real quick overview of all the supplies needed. First things first, so we're going to do each of these blanks. When you buy them, usually from the different suppliers, they come with a paper backing on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove the paper backing off of each one. So I have one that'll be mirrored and one that'll be face up. So I just take my weeding tool. You can also do this with anything relatively sharp. And you're just going to lift and then you'll be able to peel the paper backing off. Now, they usually come with paper backing on both sides. I only remove the paper backing off the side I'm working on. And then I leave it on the other side to protect it from the epoxy and glitter or however. So you're going to take your sanding paper and you're going to give it a light sanding. This is to ensure that your glitter will have a nice little surface to stick to, adhere to. I'm going to sand both pieces. All right. Then I'm going to take my alcohol. I'm going to give them a little spritz and wipe them off. Okay. And then you're gonna, the reason why I go ahead and mix my epoxy because I want it to thicken up just a little bit because I don't want it to be super runny when I apply it on the blanks. So I'm just going to pour a little of epoxy in each measuring cup. And then I'm saving some because I'm going to need that. And then I'm going to pour my glitter inside. And you want to use enough glitter so that it won't be see-through when you move the backing. And you're just going to mix your glitter and your epoxy. And you can lift your popsicle stick up and you can tell if the glitter is going to be see-through or not on the blank by what it looks like on the stick. Now on the blank where it's going to be mirrored, I'm going to go ahead and apply that decal onto the blank. And then I'm just going to go over the blank and make sure that it's flat. I don't want any air bubbles. And I don't want any lifting where the epoxy will get up under it. And I'm going to put it on this silicone mat. And I'm going to take these gloves off because I got glitter all over when I opened that gold. Put my gloves on. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to take my epoxy, and you can wait until it gets thicker. I usually wait a little bit longer for it to get a little bit thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I just start in the middle. And it doesn't take a whole lot. And then I'm just going to spread it. all along the edges. And just as carefully as I can, I'm going to get it along the edges. I'm not too careful around the hole because I have a small Dremel that I use to drill out the hole if I need to. So if I keep the hole clear, yay. If I don't, yay, because I'll just drill through when I'm done. Because normally I end up going over the hole. Okay, and you see it just took a tiny amount. I could do probably 2 or 3 more if I had them. And I mixed 5 mils of each part A and part B when I did this. Now I'm going to take the gold and I'm going to do the same thing. You'll notice that with the chunkier glitter, the gold is thicker. And just spilled. The gold is thicker because of the chunky glitter. But it's the same thing. And I'm just going to spread it. All along the edge. I did not get a baby wipe to clean up where I made that mess. Alright, so I'll see if I can lift these up so y'all can see. Okay. Once I have the glitter on, I'm going to take my torch, and it's just a micro torch that I have. I got this from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to pop the bubbles. Alright, and then I would set this aside and I would let it dry. Okay. So once it's dried, I would, on the one that's right side up, I wouldn't remove the backing. The backing is gone off of this one because this is one that I played with a while ago and I removed the backing. So this is the mirrored one. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the backing. And you can see where my epoxy came on the back side, but it'll lift right up with the backing. I need my X-Acto knife. There we go. Okay. So this one is almost done. And if I had thought to bring it, I would just use my X-Acto knife to clean out the glitter in these grooves. But I don't have it right now. And then on this one, I'm going to go ahead and apply the decal. And make sure it's on there really good. Remove the decal. Now, if you're using permanent adhesive vinyl, with this one you could be done. But you will feel the vinyl on top. It's not smooth. So what I typically do is I go ahead and I apply epoxy over it. Just so it has that smooth feel. And you're just going to spread it. And you're going to make sure you get to the edges without it spilling over. And all the way to the edge. And people use different tools to do this. They use the silicone stirrers or the makeup brushes. Popsicle stick works fine with me. A toothpick also works very well to do this. and just all the way. You just want to make sure you have it completely covered from edge to edge all the way around. All right. Once that's done, you will go ahead and hit it with the heat gun, with the torch, and get rid of the bubbles. Okay. So that's what we have. And then I will set this aside to dry. And then we'll come back to this one and we'll go ahead and drill the hole. Alright, and we'll wipe it off with some alcohol. And then we'll put the keychain attachments on it. And then go ahead and go with silver. That's what I have in abundance of. The silver hardware. You're going to take your ring, thread it through, open it enough, put it through. And then put your keychain attachment on there, and then we'll close it. If you wanted to add anything else here, you would add it before you closed it, but I typically don't. And then if you wanted to add anything else, like a small tassel, put the tassel through. You know, make sure you close it. And then this is your finished piece. And then the back is smooth. And that's all you would do. And once the one that was face up is dry, you would just do the same thing. Drill out the hole if need be, add your keyring attachments and your little embellishments, and that is all. And that's how you do it with epoxy instead of UV resin. So it just takes a little bit of waiting for the epoxy to dry. If if you're doing it right side up, like on this one, you can cut your time down, and on your first layer of glitter epoxy, you could use a quick coat or fast set, Stone Coat Quick Coat. CC DIY has a fast setting epoxy. You could use that on your first coat, and then your second coat use regular epoxy. And usually the fast setting epoxy will be dry to touch for you to go to the next step in like an hour to hour and a half to 2 hours. It could be done in an hour if your workspace is warm, an hour and a half to 2 hours if it's like regular temperature, like between 73, 76, hour and a half to 2 hours. It'll fast setting epoxy will be dry to touch. And that's it. It's nice and quick one today, but that is how I do the acrylic blank keychains with epoxy. Hope y'all have a nice day.